Okay. Good morning, good day, survivors. This is Sunday after all week long of conferences, and today we have workshop dedicated to fundraising in Defi. We will share some practical tips. Hopefully, guys, builders, it will be helpful for you. Let's start. I'm Anna. I'm head of BD at Cointelegraph Accelerator and upcoming venture. I'm looking for the startups. I'm in the relationship with the developers and investors. So, guys, briefly introduce yourself, which company you're working for, and why we have to listen for you for another 25 minutes.
I'll go first. My name is Dave Rodman. I'm the managing partner of the Rodman Law Group. I've been practicing in Web3 since 2016. You should listen to me because one, many of my clients have gotten successful funding and had super successful launches, and two, I'll keep you out of jail.
My name is Alex. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Gains, which is one of the first DAO VC and launchpads in the space. We have deployed 35 million over 6 years. We were early into Avalanche, Hashgraph, Quant, Blocktopia, which is 1000x, and many other projects in the space. And I've seen literally 1000x.
My name is Michael Robinson. I'm the chairman of ORT Foundation. ORT is one of our portfolio companies. I'm also the co-founder, partner at Avis Lear, an early stage Web3 VC. I've been in Bitcoin since 2015. I'm a macro trends researcher, and that's my superpower.
Thank you. Let's start with a general question. DeFi, how do you evaluate the key role and interest to this vertical in the whole field of investments? How sexy is DeFi for investors?
I mean, I personally think that DeFi is the sexiest thing that you can invest in. I think it's the coolest part of our industry. It's the thing that keeps me interested. DeFi summer was one of the most fun times in Web3 for me personally and professionally. So I think the answer is very.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, same. DeFi is crypto, right? So for me, probably half of the projects we invest in are in DeFi.
And can you let's specify? It's interesting. Yes, B2B, B2C, staking, restaking, wallets. What exactly?
Actually, a bit more B2C, I would say. I mean, B2B DeFi is always a bit weird, you know, because it's like permissioned chains and, you know, it feels a bit more different. There's people who talk to PwC and all these big guys, and they have good traction. But maybe because I come from, you know, 2017 and so on, I'm more sensitive to B2C DeFi projects.
Well, I'm a bit of a contrarian. I'm going to say P2P, right? Major believer in Bitcoin and what it's done for the monetary, system as far as revolution. So I'm a big believer in people and a currency for the people and access, democratize access to, just finance in general. So that's one of the reasons why I got into Bitcoin, and I'm a bit disturbed by all the funds that's coming into the space because it's taking us further away from the ideology of Bitcoin. So building DeFi around the principles of Bitcoin, love it. And that's all I'm going to say for now.
Perfect. Let's narrow down our questions. It's not financial advice, but...
Or legal advice.
Or legal advice, but what is the most opportunistic chain? Where do you see new unicorns will come? We can see the sunrise of BTC, layers, staking, restaking. We can see Solana fights with Ethereum. But where do you expect new unicorns in DeFi?
I'm gonna say
you can name chains. You can name vertical, like account abstraction, as I told you, whatever.
I'm going to say base. I mean, I do believe Coinbase is going to put 150 million users on chain very soon, and that's going to be very powerful.
What about Tone? They just announced this ecosystem innovations.
Yeah, very true as well. Telegram for sure as well.
I'm going to say Bitcoin. So I'm not sure if everyone's been following what's going on with ordinals, and just yesterday we had a halving event. Take a look at the runes and rune stones. I was early inscriber, so I was airdropped rune stones, which are trading pretty well at the moment. The reason why I'm going Bitcoin is because it has the deepest liquidity. It's been endorsed by Wall Street finally, and I do see a lot of opportunities coming down the pike with this new token standard. I believe Bitcoin is finally following in the footsteps of a mature ETH, or Ethereum specifically. So a lot of opportunity will be coming down the pike, and I'm very bullish on what's being built there.
So,
Do you have any recent investment? Can you specify some names for us?
Yeah, so I really like Track.network. Benny the dev, very active, the ecosystem being built out like excessively. A lot of the leading like blue chip ordinals have attached themselves to Track, and Track is finally building DeFi on Bitcoin. They are one of the leading decentralized indexers in the space, and if you own Track, you're going to get airdrop TAP, and TAP is going to be for the DeFi protocol on layer 1 Bitcoin.
Thank you. Dave, sorry.
no, it's okay. So my Solana clients would call me an ETH maxi, and I have a lot of Solana clients, and I think that most of my net worth is in Bitcoin. So I would honestly say that, and I represent the founder of Near. So I would say I'm pretty chain agnostic. I think that we're still, I know it's very trite to say it, I think we're still very early. Do I think that there's a new L1 coming out that's going to be the new unicorn or not? Probably not, but maybe. So I think honestly, I don't have I'm totally chain agnostic. But apparently I'm also an ETH maxi, according to people. So we'll go with that.
Not bad, yeah. Thank you. Let's say you track so many decks, so many new projects. What is the key factors would make you say, shut up and take my money?
That's a great question. It's a combination of many things, right? But I'll give you one. I like simplicity, you know. So many times on calls, founders are boring, too complicated, and they use words like, you know, random forest algorithms, and like, it's like, okay, tell me in simple words, what do you do? And on the website as well, right? For me, if I go on the website and I like the feel of it, it's very good. So there's a lot that just comes from intuition and how simple it is. I think the space has lots of technical people who have trouble making the hard things they do build simple for the end users. And so I think simplicity as an investment thesis has a good potential.
Thank you.
Couldn't agree anymore. What I do like is the intuitive tech, right? Also hidden technology. You don't notice that you're using it, right? Because it's so simple. I always use the analogy of like the internet, right? Like we just connect to the internet with our cell phones. The average person doesn't know how the internet works, but that's been able to scale out adoption. So simplicity and community. If you've got a rich community that's very active behind you, I'm automatically interested. Hidden tech, huge bonus, and utility. So
I'll take the contrarian point this time. Nothing anybody can say will cause me to say shut up and take my money. It's a relationship thing. It's understanding the team. It's an in-depth, it's a long-term relationship, and that's how I would get comfortable.
If I can add, by the way, I'm really a fan of, if you want to raise funds tomorrow, start by making friends today. So
Very true.
The relationship thing, it's built on trust, So many times you invest in people, not really in ideas, because you trust them, how persistent they are, how creative they can be. So I agree 100%.
also, we have to qualify the team as well, right? Their backgrounds to make sure that they're capable of delivering on what they claim to be building. So yeah, also, is it a necessity in the space, right? So yeah, those are a couple things that I look for.
Thank you. I want to narrow down more and give us some examples. We've seen the scale of eigenlayer. We've seen the scale of multiple wallets. What exactly example you can give us of DeFi, it doesn't matter, B2B or B2C, and what are the key success reasons why this project became successful, usable, scalable?
I would say the intuitive nature, typically, simplicity as well. Take a look at Uniswap, right? I used to use Fork Delta back in the days. It was one of the most complex dexes that you could ever use. It took me a week to figure out how to use that. Then came Uniswap. I mean, I just connected my MetaMask to the interface and boom, there it was. So those are game changing because if we're trying to bring on mass adoption, the average person needs to be able to intuitively assess and utilize that tech.
Yeah, if I can add on to Mike's response, we talk a lot about mainstream adoption, education, how can we convince, the next billion people to come into crypto? And I think if we had more top UX guys in crypto, that would help a lot. So again,
Sorry, top US what?
UX,
UX,
yeah, like user experience, right? Blast was very successful DeFi project. We didn't invest in it, but I was a user of the airdrop, and I just loved how gamified and intuitive, again, the interface was.
Have you participated in any by yourself?
In what?
In any airdrop?
Yeah, quite a few.
Which one?
I mean, some that, had very simple interfaces. You just paste your address, it's a claim, and it's okay, but you don't convert users like that, right? You need to make people come back. You play on the gamble mind, and there's a wheel to turn every week, and you have numbers, and you have leaderboards, and you have things to do, and it's all looking so nice, and you know where to click. So anyway, it's just UX in a way.
Can I chime in? With regards to airdrop, one of the most successful just recently was Runestone, basically distributed across 112,000 wallets. Right now, one Runestone, I mean, the all-time high, and this airdrop just took place a couple months ago, 6K. ROI is BTC. I know I sound like a BTC maxi at this moment. I'm just very excited about what's going on there. But you should see
Have you got one?
Yeah, several. I got a couple. So basically, you had to qualify by being like an early inscriber, right? So I guess you'd consider me an OG Ordinals and BRC 20 holder. So just for doing that, I was eardropped 2 Runestones for both my wallets. And because I own Runestone, post having the new Rune token standard for Bitcoin, I got 869,000 dog to the moon coin per Runestone that I own.
But I mean, really, the granddaddy of them all, Uniswap, like no one was expecting it, no one saw it on the radar, and then it just happened, and all of a sudden we all had bags. That was a joyful moment, right? Like, I think we're always going to be chasing that. Now people are engaging, people are doing stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but like that sheer, just like surprise in the morning, like that was magical, right? And also, I would like to point out that you've got Bancor up here, and you asked about how successful. I think there's a decent amount of luck because Bancor invented the AMM pool, and they, frankly, just don't have market share, and Uniswap does. Right time, right place, right people. There is some luck to this. I think that's got to be acknowledged.
We enjoyed these benefits and incentivations as users, but from investors' perspective, when we have a look at tokenomics, what is a healthy incentivation part of entire tokenomics that projects can spend on these type of airdrops?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, I didn't follow that.
Yeah, so as investors, we always evaluate projects judging from their tokenomics. Incentivations, airdrop pool, it's part of this tokenomics.
Yeah,
What
but
is-
that doesn't incentivize the investors, frankly.
Absolutely. My question is, according to investors' perspective, what is the healthy incentivations percentage of tokenomics?
I think it really depends on which investors you're talking to, because there's many funds who all they care about is like max inside tokens, and they could take a max percentage of those inside tokens. Those are not the investors that you want to work with. But like honestly, even the good ones, like as long as you've set like 30 to 50, I mean 50 is way too high in my opinion, but 30% of your tokens to the insiders, like as far as I've seen, it doesn't, people are getting these tokens the investors are getting these tokens at such a low valuation that they don't really care, to be honest with you. It's a cynical take, but it's the true one.
That's why I'm asking you. Alex, do you have any other takeaways on healthy tokenomics from investors' perspective?
I think size matters a bit, but I think the way you do it matters more than how much you airdrop. Because there's been huge airdrops in dollar value that have been very successful, right? The token price has held up. And there's been very small airdrops that had a very bad impact on the token price. So I think the percentage of the value doesn't matter. I think it's how you can convert people, right? The goal of an airdrop is, hey, see, we give you this free stuff, maybe you can become a user, right? So it's just a user acquisition tool. And at the end of the day, if you give people more, they're not going to want to try your product more. They're just going to want to dump more. So I think it's more how you talk to them. You have to find a way to get to people with emotions, with something.
Yeah, it's just another form of advertising.
I think it's about utility of the tokens, right? That's really going to set the tune or tone for the circulating supply. Because I like DeFi, I typically go for like smaller circulating supplies. But that really doesn't matter if there's no utility. And then also if there's a large amount of coins in circulation for token metrics. If there's no utility, once again, what are we doing here, right? And we see that often in the crypto space. Utility comes post like launch of a project or lack thereof, and it's a mad scramble. So basically the airdrops are typical of like just buying community. Now the community is there and there's no utility. What can they do, right? So that typically has an expiration date. So I think it's really about the utility that's going to define the token metrics.
We almost out of time, so my last question will be dedicated to marketing. From my perspective, I met so many DeFi projects built by very proper builders who used to code, to build. What marketing advice would you give to early stage DeFi startups? What kind of marketing people they should looking for? Maybe you can name some marketing agencies that should rely on, or maybe they should provide the best tech with the best incentivization mechanics inside, and that's it.
Well, they should definitely work with marketers that listen to counsel, because the amount of time and money that you will spend if your marketing team fights with counsel of what you're saying to the public is not immaterial. So that's my only requirement. And then as far as a recommendation goes, Melrose PR does a damn good job.
Thank you.
So for marketing, I'll have one very simple answer. Use more memes. Get a chief meme officer, One of the most powerful men in the world, Elon Musk, he uses memes all the time, and everyone loves him, right?
Well, I don't know if that second part's true. But.
Well, if you're hated by half of the world, you're also loved by half of the world. So, yeah, use more memes.
I'm going to go with build useful tech, right? I think that's going to be a seamless, organic adoption. Third-party marketing agencies, try to avoid them. You want a community to be engaged and involved based on the simplicity of your tech, and that should scale adoption. And then, I guess, have a lot of fun, right? Make it fun. For Ort, we created this real cool mascot, Sealy, right? And when Sealy gets excited, Sealy says, Ort, 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 Ort. Right? So we have fun.
Great, guys. Last question. You spent your Sunday after all week long still here at the conference. Please share with our audience what kind of people you want to meet, what kind of project you want to talk to, what kind of partnership you want to take away from this event.
Literally anyone who's serious about doing this the right way and following some very minimal guidelines to be legally defensible. That's my criteria.
Thank you.
I want to meet passionate people. We all work a lot, and so if we meet people with good energy who have some fun, I think, all our lives are going to be much better.
Well, on the VC side, I'm looking for innovators, people that are also passionate, people that are not following the trend, but actually building into what they believe is going to be the future. People that understand where we are in humanity and actually are trying to build a legacy and leave a lasting legacy. But on the ORT side, I would love to partner with Deepin Projects, AI as well. We're building a decentralized AI. It's decentralized, verifiable cloud compute platform for AI applications. So if you feel like you fit that category, please connect.
Guys, you've heard our speakers. No more questions. You can find them during the next at least 1 hour. And thank you so much for sharing that useful insights. Let's take a selfie.
Yeah, let's
Thank
do
you
it.
to our wonderful moderator.
Yes, thank you.
Here.